The decision to shut down the U.S. prison in Guantanamo Bay is turning into a challenge for Europe. Britain, which has accepted a number of former detainees, doesn't want to take more, claiming other countries are shirking their responsibilities.
A dream come true, the dismantling of Guantanamo Bay seems to have turned into a nightmare, and not just for the Americans. Condemned throughout the world, the prison on the brink of closure has suddenly become a huge challenge for the European Union. Having pledged to provide shelter for up to 60 former detainees, the EU is now split over the issue, facing a thorny set of questions. Where should they go? Who pays? And finally, is it safe to relocate them?
We have to make sure that potential terrorists do not step on Europe's territory, and that's why security considerations have to be given primacy over any others.
Spain, France, Italy and Portugal are among the nations offering to accept former detainees. Germany, Britain and others are reluctant.
We Europeans have been arguing, as we have been, that they need to be resettled, that the United States needs to close Guantanamo Bay, and if we now refuse to take any of the prisoners in, well, that certainly exposes us to charges of hypocrisy.
According to Britain's Foreign Office, 27 former Guantanamo inmates have been returned to the EU to date. 13 of them are in the UK. The Foreign Secretary has made it clear no more terror suspects with no links to the country will be accepted. The UK, he says, has done its bit by taking in double the number of any other European country.
We feel that it is already a significant contribution. We're happy to offer our experience to other European countries as they think about what steps they want to make to help in the closure of Guantanamo Bay.
Human rights activists don't agree. They say with a special relationship comes special responsibility.
I think it's disappointing, to say the least. How can we offer advice, or how can we advise others in Europe to take individuals in if we ourselves are not prepared to do that?
Although President Obama means well, it will take both the Americans and Europeans to clean up the mess created by the Bush administration, to handle the costs and challenges of rehabilitating, housing and, if necessary, monitoring the inmates who come to Europe.
According to the human rights groups, all of the former Guantanamo prisoners resettled in Britain have lived quietly and peacefully in the community, far from causing any trouble. But many argue that might not necessarily be the case with other detainees.
The Pentagon recently released details of 61 former detainees it believes have returned to terrorism, another setback to Obama's decision to shut the camp.
The truth is that in Guantanamo there are undoubtedly some people who mean us harm, and we need to bear that very carefully in mind. We are dealing with the security of our countries. That said, it was the United States that made this colossal blunder to create a black hole offshore, and the lion's share of the burden will have to be borne by the United States because of that.
The discussion continues whether President Obama will meet the challenge, but it's clear that Britain and the rest of Europe won't be able to wash its hands of it anytime soon. Daria Pushkova, RT, London.